Hello and welcome all in this video tutorial. Today's our topic is brain of Scolodon. So we know that the nervous system of the Scolodon is divisible into three parts: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomic nervous system. So in that, brain is the part of the central nervous system. This brain of the dogfish of the Scolodon is enclosed within a particular type of cavity, and that cavity is called as the cranium. The brain is protected in a cavity, and that cavity is called as cranium, and its cranium and the brain is divisible into three main parts, that is the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. These are the parts of the brain. The brain of the Scolodon, like that of the other vertebrates, divisible into three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain, which is the first part of the brain, anteromost part of the brain, which is also divisible into this forebrain, again divisible into two main subdivisions, that is called as cerebrum and diencephalon. So the brain of the Scolodon is divisible into three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Secondarily, the forebrain again divisible in two parts, that is cerebrum and diencephalon. So let us start by the first part of the brain, which is called as cerebrum. Cerebrum, it is the large part, but this cerebrum in case of Scolodon is undivided. In higher vertebrates, the cerebrum is divided in two parts, but here in this case of the Scolodon, the cerebrum, it is a large and undivided anteriormost part. From that cerebrum, that is having the two parts, that is called as cerebral hemispheres. Cerebrum is divided in two parts, that is called as cerebral hemispheres. But the cerebrum do not having mid-dorsal groove, due to which this cerebrum cannot be divided into two halves, that is right and left halves, because there is no mid-dorsal groove to indicate the right and left cerebral hemispheres. From the anterolateral side of the cerebrum, a stalk is arises, which is called as cerebral, which is called as olfactory stalk. Here we can found the olfactory stalk. From the anteriormost part of the cerebrum, stalk is arises, and that stalk is called as olfactory stalk, or also called as olfactory peduncle. To that olfactory peduncle, when this olfactory peduncle leads into the anterior side, then it gives a particular type of lobe like structure, that is called as olfactory lobe, and this olfactory lobe then terminate into olfactory sacs. There is having a pair of olfactory sac, pair of olfactory stalk or olfactory peduncle, and pair of olfactory lobe. So the cerebrum, which is a large part, from the cerebrum, from either side of the cerebrum towards the anterior side, there is having olfactory peduncle or olfactory stalk, then olfactory lobe, and finally terminate into a particular type of sac, which is called as olfactory sac. This olfactory sac opens to the outside through the nostrils. When we see the ventral view of the brain, we can found towards the ventral side there is a particular type of structure, which is called as neuropore. Neuropore is a structure which is found towards the ventral side of the brain. So here we can found neuropore. Neuropore is made by the combination of the terminal nerves. Two terminal nerves which is having the connection with the olfactory sac with ganglion, this nerves having the ganglion, this comes together and meet in a particular area, and that area is called as neuropore. This particular type of neuropore is found towards the ventral side of the brain. We can found towards the ventral side of the brain. So, towards the dorsal side there is having cerebral hemispheres, and when we see the ventral side of the brain, we can found that there is having the terminal nerves. Two terminal nerves are come together and forming neuropore, and this neuropore which is having the connection with the olfactory sac, and these nerves innervates the olfactory sac. So, this is about the first part of the forebrain having a name cerebrum. Second part, which is called as the diencephalon. Second part of the forebrain is called as the diencephalon. Most of the part of the diencephalon we can found towards the ventral side. This part of the diencephalon is hidden by the cerebellum. So, this diencephalon, which is the posterior cerebrum, lies the small narrow diencephalon, which is completely hidden by the cerebellum. Its thin membranes and vascular roof is called as anterior choroid plexus. We can found on the dorsal side there is having particular area. That area is a part of the diencephalon that is called as anterior choroid plexus. From posterior mid dorsal part of diencephalon extends upwards a slender pineal stalk. At the middle position of the anterior choroid plexus, there is a particular type of structure that is called as pineal stalk, which ends in a small rounded pineal body, which is also called as epiphysis, which is having the unknown function. Then ventral surface of diencephalon shows some prominent features, some prominent structures. Near its anterior margin of the diencephalon there is having particular type of connection of the nerves that is called as forming particular structure which is called as optic chiasma. This optic chiasma is formed by the crossing of two optic nerves. These are some parts about the diencephalon. Diencephalon, which is very small structure, narrow structure, hidden by the cerebellum towards the dorsal side, and there is a vascular roof called as anterior choroid plexus. From that middle position of the anterior choroid plexus, we can found there is having a particular structure that is called as pineal stalk, but towards the ventral side there is having crossing of optic lobe forming a structure, and that structure is called as optic chiasma. Optic chiasma, the crossing of two optic nerves. So, these are the parts which are found in case of diencephalon. So, in this area we can found crossing of optic nerves, and that is called as optic chiasma. Towards the dorsal side there is a particular structure that is called as anterior choroid plexus, and the middle position of the anterior choroid plexus there is having a pineal stalk. These are the parts related with the diencephalon, but behind it this diencephalon also having some structures which are basically found towards the ventral side, and these structures are like infundibulum, inferior lobe, hypophysis and saccus vesiculosus. These are the structures which are particularly found towards the ventral side of the brain, and these are all parts of the diencephalon. So, in this diagram we can found the structures clearly, that is, there is having a hollow projection called as infundibulum. The structure, elongated structure which is called as infundibulum, which is found towards the ventral side, which is a hollow projection. On either side of this infundibulum there is having a particular lobes, and that lobes are called as inferior lobe. There is having a pair of inferior lobe which is found behind this infundibulum. Then posterior to infundibulum there is having particular structure, elongated sac-like structure, that is called as hypophysis, and the dorsal side of this infundibulum there is having particular dorsal side of the hypophysis there is having a particular somewhat larger structure, that is called as saccus vesiculosus. So, the inferior lobe, infundibulum, saccus vesiculosus and hypophysis, these are the structures which are particularly found on the ventral side of the brain. These are the structure belonging to the diencephalon: infundibulum, then inferior lobe, hypophysis, saccus vesiculosus, which are also the structures related to the diencephalon. This is about the second part of the forebrain, that is diencephalon. We know that the forebrain divisible into two parts, cerebrum and diencephalon. So, let us focus on the midbrain. Midbrain, it remains mostly concerned dorsally by the cerebellum and ventrally by the infundibular outgrowths. In between these two structures, the particular portion of the brain is found, that is called as midbrain. This midbrain having large rounded dorsal swellings called as optic lobes. We can found this optic lobes in the dorsal view of the diagram. This optic lobe, which is having a pair large rounded swellings found at the middle position of the brain, that is called as optic lobes, which are the center of sight and hearing, and cranial nerves number 3rd and 4th arises from this area. Cranial nerves number 3rd and 4th arises from the midbrain. This is about the midbrain. Then the next part of the brain, third part, posterior part of the brain, which is called as hindbrain. This hindbrain also divisible in two parts. One is called as cerebellum, which is a elongated large structure, large elongated area, which is called as cerebellum, and cord-like structure, triangular structure, which is called as a medulla oblongata. Hindbrain is divisible into two parts, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So, let us start by the first part of the hindbrain, that is cerebellum. So, cerebellum, it is large, elongated, overhanging area around the optic lobes. We can find this cerebellum, and also having connection with the medulla oblongata behind. So, optic lobes, in between the optic lobes and medulla oblongata, we can find the large area of the brain, that is called as the cerebellum. This particular area is the part of the cerebellum. Its dorsal surface of the cerebellum is irregularly folded and divided into three lobes by two transverse furrows. This is the part, cerebellum is the part of the hindbrain. Now, the second part of the hindbrain, which is called as medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, it forms the last part with a triangular part. This medulla oblongata, the last part of the brain, posteriormost part of the brain. It is triangular structure. This particular area is called as medulla oblongata from this up to this point. It is a triangular structure which is wider in front, that is Y-shaped structure, wider in front but tapering behind, and then it passes into the spinal cord. Its anterior dorsal end bears on either side a hollowed growth that is called as restiform bodies. Towards their anterior dorsal side, there is having particular structure, and that is called as restiform bodies. Restiform bodies here. Medulla is roofed over by thin non-glandular and vascular membrane called as posterior choroid plexus. So let's see here. On the medulla oblongata, there is a particular area that is called as posterior choroid plexus. This posterior choroid plexus, which is found on the roof of the medulla oblongata, and some cranial nerves which are arises basically from the medulla oblongata, having number 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. That is 5th to 10th cranial nerves arises from the medulla oblongata. And hindbrain controls swimming movement of the fish. So this is all about